Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And this evening, of course, we are bringing you another HoGaLeSh show, but I am joining you live from Ibiza. Yeah, I'm in
I was going to
Ibiza
say,
today.
where are you?
He never tells us nothing if he's going to travel.
Well, it's been a fascinating day today. So just to bring everyone up to speed, after this show completes, actually, I've already shared the images on Instagram, but I've got an image that that's gonna launch on my community posts. So yes, I've been in Amsterdam and I'm working with a dear friend of mine called Nelliana, and she is helping me set up the first Neo-Vedic astrology retreats in the Balearics. And then we'll be maybe looking at mainland Spain and stuff like that. But certainly the first ones here. So I've been meeting kind of local people, networking. I've actually got an event tomorrow that's sold out, which is really nice, where I'm going to be teaching people about Neo-Vedic astrology, and I'm really enjoying it. And we just did a photo shoot today as well. We're on the beach, just to producing new content, turning over a new leaf. I say when Saturn changes, everything changes. So it's that time. And we've also got the nodes of the moon, everyone, are changing in Vedic astrology around the 29th of May. So we've got yet another big shift coming, folks. So I'm sure you guys have all seen, isn't it? All of this kind of reality check. Have you been seeing more and more people are going like, think I need to change a few things. And even not in the politics, just in people's personal lives in general, people going through huge shifts and huge awakenings. But here we are tonight. And how have you guys been since we were away? I'm going to be reading the messages off my phone because of course I have no printer, but I understand. Lady G, what have you been up to in the past week? And we'll go around and then we'll start the show.
Well, in the past week I got my birthday present finally delivered. Ouroboros, and then I did an 8-pointed star in the middle of it with yellow diamonds and stuff. It got some new fun things, Victorian things. So
gorgeous.
Lots of fun stuff. And I'm getting ready to take off in the Cosmic Gypsy again, a little bit of a country tour.
Great. Fantastic.
Oh, did everyone hear that? I missed a bit of it. My internet here is strong because I'm tethered. I'm in a hotspot, but so you said, Lady G, you're getting ready to go off to, and then I lost it.
Yeah, in the Cosmic Gypsy, the Prius B, I'm going to take off for a week or two and just go across country again. Time for me to be on the road.
Wow, off on adventures. Indeed. And Sheila, what have you been up to today? I understand that, or this week, you've been doing some substitute teaching, I think. Is that correct?
I did. I got back into substitute teaching, and at the end of the year, and my head goes, ouch, 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 ouch. What'd you do that for again?
Well, don't you think teachers should be paid 30 times as much as they're paid?
Yeah, well, they're not. They're just, they're scraping by. And so, third graders almost took me out yesterday. But tomorrow's the last day, so I'm good to go for a while, unless somebody needs me for summer school, which kind of. But other than that, we just hanging in there, listening to Donald Trump lose his mind, and of course the bad news about Biden. But you know what? I think where he's going, there's not going to be any Republicans, so I'm kind of excited for him for that, if he makes it through.
Indeed. And indeed, and I'll talk a bit about that as well, because you've reminded me, I made a little prediction. But Lena, how's your week been? And I'll talk about the little prediction and then we'll dive into the show.
Well, I live in a dog kennel, it would appear. There are currently 4 grand dogs here. We usually get them 1 or 2 at a time, but they're all here. But in the good news front, I've put a deposit on my airfare for the end of the year for a big trip, because I've got to have a circuit breaker and see how the rest of the world is. So I'm fully excited about that. And that's me.
Wonderful. Wow.
I'll pay it
Wonderful.
off over the next 6 months.
Indeed. And thanks as well, Sheila, for the reminder on Joe Biden. I actually tried to make a video on Joe Biden a couple of days ago, and I was going to film it out in the garden. And then the internet started playing up. The second I started speaking, about 3 dogs started barking. Then a Spanish family kind of rocked up and were just speaking at the tops of their voices. And then I brought my laptop indoors. Everything all crashed again. And it was a pain. It was a pain because I'd actually done some research and stuff like that. And I made a prediction on the 2nd of May. And I said, when the sun is on the star Algol, as you know, I've been talking about for ages, the sun deals with leaders, global leaders, people all around the world. And I said, we might get some shocking news in regards to a global leader, because it deals with kings, queens, CEOs, popes, presidents, all of that kind of stuff. And on or around the 15th of May. And when I checked, Joe Biden got his diagnosis on the 16th of May. That's when he was told that he had and I was showing my friend Nelliana on my laptop. I said, look at the timing. And I went back and found the video where I made the prediction, but I couldn't make the video because everything crashed. So it's really sad, but I knew there'll be some big news about a leader. So how's he doing? I've not been able to kind of catch up. I understand it's gone to the bones.
Yeah.
You know, what happens next? Because that's not good, isn't it? Once it goes to the bones, that's not good, is it?
Yeah.
And Connie B says, prayer for Joe Biden.
I say to everyone, light candles for Joe.
Yeah.
But for him, he is a genuine man of faith.
Yeah.
Right? He's a genuine old school Catholic. And this is where his faith will sustain him.
Indeed. And like
the type of cancer he's got can be influenced by some type of hormone or something. So it is a positive.
Testosterone.
Yeah, there is some positivity with getting help.
I mean, it would be nice for him to outlive the orange turd, but
absolutely.
Well, that's what someone was just saying in the chat. Light Vocation was saying, I sure wished Al Gore has visited Duck L'Orange instead of Biden. So we don't get to choose. Yeah, we don't get to choose. Unfortunately, you know, we don't get to select. The energy will manifest, but you can never be 100% sure who it's going to be. But I knew it would be a global leader or global figure. I thought something might actually happen to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Actually, when I made a prediction at the time, she also had a turnaround, but the big one, of course, was Joe Biden. So I hope he recovers. Bless him. So shall we start the show, ladies? Yeah. All right. So I'm just reading off my screen here because obviously I don't have my printer, so I'm not able to go through in the usual way. But this is a really good one. This is coming from what is that? Maria. Let's just because when it's all joined up, it's harder to read. So this is coming from Maria. And she says, will Netanyahu and all world leaders who, she says complacent, but complicit, I think she wanted to say, complicit in the atrocities accruing in Gaza, and will the West Bank be brought to justice? So she's saying basically, will anyone be brought to justice for the atrocities and stuff that has happened in Gaza? Interesting question. And then we'll move on to the next one. So let's read
Is
the
this
energy
one
around
card
that.
pull?
Yeah, let's do a one card pull on it. And let's just see what we get. Because of course there's talk of The Hague.
Yeah.
I think the International Criminal Court wanted to, didn't they say they wanted to arrest Netanyahu and then it's all gone quiet? Yeah, wasn't that a thing at one point? And then of course, oh, look, did you see? A card just jumped out.
Oh.
So that will be my card. Oh no, I can't use it because it's not the
real one.
It's not the real one. I'll choose one more. Okay.
That's the reason why it jumped out.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. All right. After 3, will there be court cases, justice, etc.? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I like
Let me
this.
just check to make sure my deck wasn't upside down. Yeah, it was upside down. So it should be this way. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, this is traditionally the victory card, of course. And I think, yes, the International Court of Justice has already condemned Netanyahu and some other players. But we've got to adjust our ideas of timely justice. These things play out over years and years. So it's not going to help the malnutrition crisis right now or the terrible injuries suffered by so many Palestinian children and stuff. But eventually it will happen.
Wow.
And it will be international.
Sheila. Sure,
Well,
sure.
My card, strict and serious authority. So will he be held accountable in a sense like that? I think that, ostracized for sure, not allowed into the parties anymore, kind of a thing. Strict, and he's going to, I think that all of that is going to probably happen a whole heck of a lot more than when it gets to the courts, to be honest with you. It's gonna be like somebody has to take that leap of faith to get him there.
Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, mine says it's going to be a raw deal. So maybe, if they have something they're going to charge him with, maybe he will leave the planet before it happens.
Oh, yeah, it could. It'll take a while.
Something else could happen, or it's just not going to move quickly enough. But yeah, I get difficult raw deal.
Yeah, Miss Tricky here. Here, I've got the 3 of Pentacles, which of course talks as well about collaboration, working together. So I think it's going to take a real kind of combined effort from the international community to really kind of bring justice to bear. Another thing, what I strongly suspect is that it's going to be either, Duck Larange is probably going to have to exit stage left, because I think Trump has become this figurehead, this energy, this kind of lightning rod that has emboldened a lot of authoritarian behavior and given a lot of license. And I just have a feeling like, I'm not saying that I want Trump dead or what have you, but I'm just saying it won't be until he leaves the political stage, till he's gone. That's when I feel the world will really start coming back together. It's going to take teamwork. It's going to take a lot of teamwork to bring justice. And Trump just enables and emboldens douchebaggery in the world. I mean, there's no other word for it, really, isn't it? They all feel they can do more, get away with more.
And I think even justice is the wrong word. It doesn't matter what happens to half a dozen of these men now. That is not justice, actually.
Yeah.
We bandy the word around. It's, some sort of acknowledgement of the cruelty or something.
Indeed.
It's really hard. It's really hard to get a leader be held justice. It's just difficult.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
it really, really is. Okay, so we move on to the next question. So also as well, Golden Chariot says, thank you for all of the work that you guys do. Let's just see here. What's this here? And another person says, Joanne said, appreciate all of you. Thank you for keeping us all sane in these troubling times. I'm a dedicated fan and look forward to your readings. Bless you all. Thank you. Let's scroll down to the question. Here we are. So Golden Chariot asks, will US laws add more protection to stop anyone ever being able to do what this administration has done? So basically, will the laws be strengthened up to basically protect America from future administrations like we have now?
It's a good question.
Yeah, fair question, isn't it?
Oh, that's a good quote, Raymond. It's difficult to free fools from the chains they revere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very true. Let's do a full card pull on this one as well. Let's do a full card pull on this because it's quite a layered question. That's a really good saying, and it's true. It's very, very true. People can be extremely stubborn once they've made their beliefs, even if they're absolutely proved wrong, they will cling. Let's see what it is. Justice. Justice. Who's ready to go? I'm just going to take some screenshots here.
I can.
Go for it.
Well, I think people will fight for these changes, but they'll be watered down in some way. People have a very high tolerance of bad political behaviour. This is part of the problem. So I think real serious attempts will be made to do some things, but won't quite get there. Then these two together, to me, in this sense, the Ten of Swords is indicating how much more evidence do people need that someone has, like the President of the United States, who happens to be in this body at this time as Felon 47, how much power do they have? They realise instinctively on some level that an end has to be put to this power, but it needs to be radically different, not a little bit different. This is the Fool in the sense of a leap of faith. For it to work, people have to trust those who are making the changes and not just see it as a dem thing or a something, right? People have to actually get there. They have to get to the Ten of Swords before they can even hear it. I think the US will be forced to look at how other countries operate and look at other models. I see these ships as other models of democracy because the American one worked for so many years but isn't working now. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a development of the country's psyche over time and good outcome. In the sense, if people can embrace this and get to a really more genuine state of the star, which has always been my best of America card. So here it is potentially. But I wouldn't be thinking it's next Wednesday. I wouldn't be thinking it's next year. We have to be patient with this stuff, and then things happen suddenly.
Yes,
But a lot
yes.
of work.
Sheila, what do you have? What are your cards saying in terms of will laws and stuff be changed to kind of protect America in the future from this ridiculousness that we're seeing now?
Well, not without a fight, right? Not without the fight, the conflict, the argument, the bullying, this, without a fight. And ironically, as I'm reading my cards, something has to die. That old ways, it literally has to die. The milk has to sour.
Yes.
Right now, they are on that teat, and they are fully invested in that. And the milk has to sour in order for this to happen. So the Six of Wands comes along and is like leaving behind, moving forward, distance ahead. So yeah, there is an idea of doing that. And I got the legal card. Yeah, they're going to try everything and do everything they can to make sure that we change the laws, button up all that's going on, do that what we need. I got the Page of Wands, which is energetic, creative, new ideas, smelling the roses, slowing down to see what's good, see what's bad. However, after all of that, there's something good that happens, something that they sit down and do, but a fight comes up again. Fight comes up again. So I think Lena's is absolutely right. We have a debt to pay. We have a debt to pay in this country, and it's going to be slow going. But but what happens what my cards are saying is it does get started, and the momentum gets started, and that's the good part. So, yeah, kind of, sort of, in the future.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what's driving the reading is about the long term and the difficulty that they have, the burden of changing this. So the reading's about just the mental pain of this dark element that they've been having to deal with. So the energy is about working on, now I think this is against the Magatonians and conservatives, working on that, because today it's about strengthening this ability to guard and protect. And so the challenge is what they're building, and building these relationships to be able to go forward. But the potential outcome is this action going forward to a better place, wanting to move it forward. And the message, and there will be a message about actions, and somebody will stand up who's controlling that and will move it forward. So it looks good that they will do something. Now, how soon that is another story, but it says, yes, that's going to happen.
Fascinating. So I just want to again bring in the viewers and say some thank yous and stuff for your questions and your contributions. Much appreciated. And of course, your questions make up the show effectively. So we've got Kathleen here. It says, love you all. Always look forward to this gathering of like-minded souls. Thank you so much. We also have as well Rita also saying prayers for President Biden. Laurie B says faith is not about an outcome, which is, very, very wise, very, very, very wise. Layla G says Joe Biden is a legend and always will be. Someone did ask about the bill. Grace Gilbert says big bloated bill has been updated to take effect in 2026. So there was actually going to be a question on that, and it looks like we've actually been updated in real time. Someone here says MTG is no global leader. And of course, I wasn't saying that she was. I don't even think I even said she was a global leader. However, she has become extreme. She's been elevated to a position she doesn't deserve. And she is now the main breadwinner as well in that.
She's a fitness trainer.
So what was that, Lena?
Marjorie Taylor Greene went from being a fitness trainer to a congresswoman and managed to make the difference between $700,000 in the bank to whatever tens of millions she's got now, 22 mil or something.
Millions.
You can't even figure out how to crop a photo.
And
thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you.
And also as well, just a thank you here from Rhonda Rue as well. Thank you so much for your donation. Yeah, look, they're all on the take. They're all on the take. Right. So what did I get for my cards in terms of how, you know, will the laws be changed going forwards? So if we look here, I get the Chariot card, which is actually about moving at pace, moving forward, moving with a strong will, a strong sense of intention. This is a card of willpower. Again, the thing is, when certain characters are alive, like I said, it's going to take a certain someone to exit stage left for the spell to fully break. That's just how it is, unfortunately, sometimes. So I think there's a lot of people that are keen to move forward, maybe more than we may even appreciate. If we look here, the next card here, we've got the merchant with you know, the Two of Wands. This card is very much about entrepreneurship, but you see he's waiting for the ships to come in. Again, like we've happened, look, this talks about what? Tariffs. There you go. Tariffs, imports, exports. In a way, it's more international pressure that comes to bear, because if we really see a lot of this it's almost taken the global economy kind of taking a real side swipe, and basically internationally everyone being pissed off for it to kind of register a bit more, do you know what I mean, in people. So this shows me here, actually, in terms of America toughening up its laws, a lot of it is to do because global trade patterns will have changed, and in ways that are detrimental to the United States. So then they have to do something about it. Do you see what I mean? Because that is the card of trade. If we look here, we get the Six of Pentacles. And of course, you can see the wealthy merchant. Now, do you see already this theme of merchants here? We've got two merchants. Oh, you're joking. Yeah, exactly. Back to back here. So, so if you look, you have the wealthy merchant, and then you've got the person begging, the people begging. I think this is also to do with the state, again, of the US economy, because a lot of people are going to be starting to feel impoverished. And when they do change things in the future, it's going to be to stop people just unilaterally doing all of this tariffs and all of this upheaval. They shouldn't be able to do it anyway, but of course, Congress are just doormats. Yeah, Congress right now are just doormats. They're not going to do anything. If we look here, we get this card. How many times when we do readings, this card show up? This can also talk about the Ten of Cups, talk about the false family in terms of the GOP. But I think this is literal families. I think the economic downturns and think of all the people that can no longer afford to purchase stuff. Think of all the small businesses that are now having to grovel and beg, because with the tariffs, he went and got rid of that, you know, any order under $800 basically didn't have a tariff. He got rid of it. So now people are feeling the pinch. Many families are feeling the pinch. And then look at the outcome card, the death card, which is a transformation that can't be avoided. And I think it's basically financial hardship is what basically leads to the law being strengthened, because so many families and so many businesses start to become out of pocket. And it also becomes, this could also become very expensive for the states, because as people lose their livelihoods, you have to give them some kind of support. This may even be things like a universal income, even, because even though the tariffs have been dropped from 145%, now they're talking about 30%, but that means everything is going to be 30% more expensive. It's still a huge amount.
Yes.
So,
and we're not going to have the tourists. We're not going to have the tourists for that flexible income. They're not coming. And if anyone from out of the country is listening right now, don't come to the United States. We do not trust our government, especially if you hold a passport. If they get you, there's nothing we can do to protect you.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it's mind-bending. I'd just like to share a couple of comments here from El Crisp, because this is my point too. It's not just about changing laws, which is essential, curbing these powers, but it's got to change the mindset.
Yeah.
And El Crisp says, America has systemic racism, and until we deal with that, we're building on a broken foundation.
True. Absolutely true.
Absolutely true. All this demonization that's gone on forever. And one more from Raymond, who has fabulous quotes. This is from Thomas Jefferson. The boisterous sea of democracy is never without a wave.
That's,
waves.
that's
Did you hear that?
one.
That
Be the
plantation.
wave.
Yep.
Keep it alive. Be the wave.
Well, so as I say, speaking of waves, remember that plantation just burned down. That the oldest, the biggest, and the most abhorrent plantation where they turned it into weddings and this, that, and the other. It burnt down.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yep. We had a big plantation in Georgia, right? It was Georgia?
In the heartland.
Wow.
Rubble.
Fascinating. Indeed. And just to give some little updates here, and let's keep everything going. So Grace Gilbert says, I look at Biden's diagnosis as a nod to us that his soul contract has been completed. I think that is a very, very valid point as well. And then someone here is asking, Sherry is asking, Hogarth, is that the end of Algol or more to come? So unfortunately, we're still in this energy. It's not going to be until later in June, the latter part of June, once Uranus gets far away enough from the star, then things should calm down a bit. But it has to be an orb wider than 5 degrees, and that doesn't really start until June. The other planets will cross it, of course. The sun is not going to be back on Algol until next year, but this disruptive, shocking energy, this Uranian energy, is still going to be surprising us for a while. So not quite yet, but it will start to ease as things go along. But then there'll be some other planet causing drama. So, we're never quite out the woods, but the Algol energy will start to calm down a bit because it has been very destructive, hasn't it? Very destructive. All right. Are we ready for the next question?
Louisiana. It was Louisiana.
Louisiana.
It was in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Big plantation. I mean, I think it was just phenomenal. I watched it and I'm like, burn, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So here's a question here. So will Don Jr. run for president in 2028? And if so, will he win? So that's coming from Golden Chariot. So will Don Jr. run for president in 2028? Ooh.
One card.
Yeah.
Let's
do a one card one, and let's get some Shakespeare in there on this one.
Oh,
so
yes.
We'll get yeah. We've not had Shakespeare do Don Jr. for a long time. I don't even, maybe we've not done Don Jr.
No.
So let's see. Let's say.
The comments are going off. I nearly spat my coffee.
They're like, no.
I know. I mean, Don Jr. It's just like, just leave it.
They're idiot. They thought that Jill Biden's doctorate was in medicine instead of education, and this is just the stupidity we deal with in the United States.
Indeed. So after 3, okay, 1, 2, 3. Will Don Jr. run for president, and would he make it? Oh, Sheila, how do you?
Oh my God!
In his own mind.
What does it say there? I need to double check. But can you just show the card again? Let me just.
Oh my
Sheila,
God! I
sorry,
always get the one. Lena? What does yours say?
Mine's odd man
Lena,
out.
what does yours say? Odd man out. Wow, that's pretty clear, isn't it? Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
If I had to interpret my card, it would say, yeah, he wants to run, go, white power, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, but you know, this is, I always, when I read, if I'm not careful, I tap into what their energy is. And his energy is, he's completely believes that he can run. He's completely believes that he's victory, you know, and stuff like that. So when I read, I have to really be careful and read if he would ever get any votes or anything like that. But he, in his mind, he thinks he can.
Yeah.
Lady G,
What's yours?
how do you interpret your card?
Well, mine is about a message about an action, but Mr. Nose Candy, I don't think that they will let him run. Yeah, they're not going to take him serious.
Well, the next card was this, so I'm
So what,
burnout. Okay.
so Lady G, sorry, could you just show your card again? Was it, because I saw a triangle on there, was it the King of Wands or what was it?
Yeah, it's the it's about the messages. Page of Wands.
Page of Wands.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thank you. And I've got the Knight of Pentacles, which we know is not a fast moving card. Yeah, it's not a fast moving card. So I don't think he has the political agility to be able to pull it off.
America surely would not stand for that.
Yeah, it's too slow. If it was the Chariot, if it was the Magician, if it was the Tower, even maybe, or if it was something quick, but no, he's a foot soldier. He's a minion. He's a foot soldier. No. I can't see that one quite.
No,
fine.
we can't go there. Basically, it's too.
Yeah, it's too much. But he doesn't have the pace.
You've heard the plan. The plan is that they would elect Don Jr. as president, and then he would step down and give it back to his father. That's the plan.
Oh God!
That's the reason why all these cards are coming up, because that's the plan. Because they want Trump to have run a third term, and literally they would have to really change the Constitution. Instead of going that way, they're going to manipulate it the other way. That's their plan.
Oh my God! So before we get to that makes sense. Before we get to Shakespeare, Hoagie, I just want to share this comment. The Pope, the new Pope, he comes from Chicago. He has a MAGA brother and his wife. And the MAGA brother and his wife visited the White House today, and they dressed like they were going to a barbecue.
Oh my God.
The Pope has a MAGA brother and sister-in-law. We all have our crosses to bear.
We all have family members like that. So, poor guy.
I mean, yeah, indeed. Wow. And I just want to say some thank yous, and then let's get the Shakespeare's take on this one. So we've got thank you so much, Cindy, for your kind donation, much appreciated. Thank you as well, Terry, so much as well. And there's what is this, 1,940 of you here so far, so thank you so much as well for joining us this evening, much appreciated. Someone says here as well, Jacqueline Dega says, I had a major health scare with skyrocketing high blood pressure on May 16th. I guess I got Algold too. Yes, you probably did. If you got any significant planets there as well within orb, when we get these transits, it can activate things like that. So there's probably quite a few people as well that may have had a health scare or two along with Joe Biden, unfortunately. So sorry about that. So let's see what the Bard has to say about Don Jr. Yeah, and his prospects for he prospects for presidency. Even the words coming out the mouth is just like, oh my gosh. So I think it was Sheila. Sorry, I think it was Lena last week. So Sheila, now I think it's you. So you know the routine. So tell me when to stop, and we'll get the bard's opinion. And Don Jr.
Stop. Stop. Oh, do you hear? Okay.
I've stopped. Yeah. This is interesting. Okay, so this is what the bard has to say about John Jr. says, "Out, you green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage, you tallow face!" Yeah, from Romeo and Juliet. So carrion is dead meat.
Yes,
It's dead meat.
Gone green.
And it says, yeah, gone green. Out, you green sickness carrion. Out, you baggage, you tallow face, which is beef grease. Romeo and Juliet. Yeah.
Gangrene. That sounds about right.
Now that tallow is also
about
white
right.
in color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the next
my
page
God.
from Henry V says, he is white-livered and red-faced.
Mm-hmm.
See, the bard never
Patricia
fails.
says the bard
The
clearly
bard.
knows Don Jr.
Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Indeed. All right, brilliant. So let's take a look at the next question. It's so strange for me to have to check them on my phone because I love having a printout and then I can make notes and stuff. So let's see here. Oh, okay. This is a more esoteric one. This is more esoteric. And this has come in from Visaloni. So I don't think they've commented before. So thank you, Visaloni, for making your comment. So here we go. Bit of a long one, but let's stick with it. Hello, beautiful people. Question. According to Nostradamus, something very important will happen on August 13th, 2025. Also, Baba Vanga. So Baba Vanga, for those that don't know, is she's the oh god, the country's just gone out of my name. Gone out of my head. Belarus or something, maybe Belarusian or Romanian, something like that. Forgive me for forgetting. But Baba Vanga, Edgar Casey, and someone looking into AI also saw this as well. So apparently AI has also come up with something, but it's learning from all of us. And then they say someone called Laurie from the Way of Positive Change had a dream mid-August in 2024, and the dream said that she was told in 1 year, apparently. And at the time, she didn't know what that meant. Thank you, guys. There is a video on YouTube about it. So basically, what is this energy of something that potentially very important could happen on August 13th? I can actually look up the astrology after the show to see if I see anything. But let's do a one-card pull and see what we get. Yeah? August 13th. What kind of energy is potentially coming for August 13th? And feel free to continue to drop your questions in the chat, folks. Much appreciated.
You mean it on the community page for next week?
Yeah. In the comments. Because when I do it off my phone, it's not the same, because when I'm at home, I can print off the questions and thread them together and put them in themes. All right, are we ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh,
well,
wow.
Nothing's going to happen.
Okay, mixed bag here. So, Lena, how do you interpret your card?
I think it's fairly evident.
Sorry,
Okay,
Lena,
so
how do you interpret your card?
Oh, there's a time delay on your thing, Hogarth. Okay. The death card. So
All right.
death and resurrection, in the sense in this card, something that'll look really bad and possibly is really bad at the time. Don't forget, there's a reason for everything, is all I'll say, leaving this card in the air for that date.
Yep. High Priestess, hidden knowledge, intuition.
Sheila,
So
how do you interpret your card?
Oh, no, it's so weird.
High Priestess, hidden knowledge, intuition, and mystery. So the question came up with Lori from Way of Positive Change. If you don't go follow her, please go follow her.
Yes.
She had a intuition, she had a dream. So it's talking about the intuition and the mystery of it. So it's like saying, yes, her intuition is spot on. Whatever it is that she did dream about, whatever is coming up, a hidden knowledge. And the High Priestess also talks about that higher level, that higher thing that, the energy of the Akashic records, the energy of the moment, and there's an ending. So there's obviously an ending, but it is spiritually guided, I guess is how I could say.
How's everyone connection? For me, it's
We're
breaking
all
up.
right,
But is it
but
okay
you're
for you
weird.
guys?
You're on delay.
Damn, because it's because I'm abroad and I'm having to I'm using my friend's mobile phone hotspot. But Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, it's the ongoing difficult battle continuing to push through.
But a battle in the what sense? Do you mean in terms of what's happened currently politically, or maybe is that a new battle? How do you interpret that? One that's already happening or something new?
I think it's, the ongoing for the change for society and all of that stuff that's coming. We're having a big shift in the energy and stuff. So that's continuing that battle, continuing that push forward with these energetic changes happening.
That was the word I was trying to find. Shift. Yep.
Indeed. Indeed. And I've got the Ace of Cups now. This is quite interesting because the Ace of Cups is normally a very positive card. Yeah, it's normally a very positive card, but it can also talk as well about a lot of emotions, a lot of things. The way I'm interpreting this is I just think this is just people having wake-up calls. I just think like with this Saturn in Pisces, which of course is the water sign, sidereal Pisces, that's where it is astronomically. I'm just feeling like people are having all sorts of emotions. It's like it's overflowing. It's like it's just too much. The emotion can't be contained anymore, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness or grief. Either way, I'm getting the sense of this kind of emotional overwhelm. And I just think by August, irrespective, if we think what's happened with the tariffs, less products on the shelves, but the world just changing so much, people having personal crises. I know a lot of people are having a lot of personal crises right now. So I think I just see it as part of a bigger, whatever it is, it's more of a shift and something happening in the collective, which just heightens people's emotions all the more. So we'll have to see, but I think it's this reality check energy. It just keeps playing out.
Yeah, and
anything to add to that, ladies?
Adding to the death card here, it's around that time that people will realize, who haven't been dialed in necessarily, will realize their old way of thinking and doing and being is not going to work anymore.
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Nancy in the comments
Yeah.
says she's
Yeah.
been. Nancy says she's been summoned for jury duty on August 13th.
What a day for that.
Oh my goodness. Gosh.
Let us know, Nancy,
Yeah,
how it
we'll have
goes.
to see. Yeah, let us know how it goes. And these are really testing times, but it's a lot of change. So what I would say to you guys, just in general, everyone watching and who is catching this on replay later, you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, because the whole world is going through an extraordinary, because this wake-up call, of course, isn't just for the States. The whole world is waking up. The States is at the center of it because of these tariffs, which have literally affected the whole world. So the whole world is shifting in different directions at the same time, on top of all the domestic stuff going on in the United States. So the whole world is having a reality check about America as well. And then, but then they're also having reality checks about other countries. This is why you're getting all of these new alliances forming. And I think it's going to be around August that the writing really will be on the wall of a lot of things. And I just have this feeling that the denial that many, particularly MAGA, have been in, I just feel like the emotion just breaks through. And you got, with that death card, and with your cards as well, ladies, I just feel like the dam breaks on all the BS. People just will not be able to pretend anymore. A lot of MAGA are already turning against Trump in bigger numbers, but I feel just by August, it's just everyone's just going to be like, I've had enough, no more. Yeah.
Well, summer in the United States is supposed to be fruitful. When all of that fruitful stuff is not going to happen, farmers are getting caught up. Like I said, tourism. I can't stress enough about the tourism. All of the tariffs. Even Walmart is going to start raising their prices. They have no choice, and and it just, everything is just going to run. And August is the best month because it's at the end and everything right before everybody goes back to school. All the college has to go back to school. Everybody has to be able to pay for things in the fall that they worked all summer for, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And on top of that, weather events.
Yes. Yeah.
No boomer.
Yeah. Poor Kentucky.
Yeah. It's true.
Yep.
It's true. And also as well, didn't also as well, wasn't it the case that remember that state, there's that state that's going to go bankrupt. What is it called again? The farming state. Do you remember? What is it called?
Ohio?
My brain's gone.
Nebraska.
No,
Yeah.
the red state. Nebraska.
Yeah. It's Nebraska. Yep. Yeah, they're still doing terrible. Although they did finally shift over to a Democratic governor for a state or a town or something like that. Somebody has more information than me, but anyways, so they shifted. I mean, a red state, a Republican got unseated by a Democrat. So there was that. But I don't know if it's going to do enough, because I think it's only for the Omaha. Yeah, the mayor of Omaha. So he's not a mayor of the whole state. But that was amazing.
Yes, itself, first time in 60 years or something.
Yeah. So there's that. But still, Nebraska is going.
And also, is it South Dakota that Kristi Noem is from?
Yes.
And all their agricultural workers and dairy farm workers have left because they're being haunted and hunted by ICE, her thing. So the economy of South Dakota is going to collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be, for a lot of these red states in particular, it's going to affect everyone. But the red states disproportionately, I mean, they're already feeling it. But my thing is, by August, it's just going to be just too much for a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people
I
because
mean, that's
it
3
takes a
full months
while.
from now. That's
Yeah.
3 months from
Right.
where we're sitting. Imagine.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly. And because what we got to remember with all these supply chain issues, the ships stopped. The majority of the ships stopped a month ago, but it's only when the inventory runs down, that's when you start to see the gaps in the shelves. So even though they've put a temporary what is it, a 30 day, no, three, what is it? Was it 3-month pause or something like that? Where they've dropped the tariffs a bit, but the ships still aren't coming at full strength. There's still a whole month where nothing has come. So imagine it then compounds, then you start having these red states starting to either go bankrupt or go really, really down. And it just all starts to, remember all of the supplies, like the August supplies, like Sheila was saying, those would have been on the ships. They need to be in the stores already to be sold, but they're not physically here. So imagine when there's all these gaps and
yeah. Yeah.
And
not good.
Joan says electricity prices are predicted to be 30% more this summer.
They're already.
Wow.
They're already.
Just to kind of,
Even in blue states.
Indeed, it's already going. So Dienya says there are already laws, but no one is following them. That is a very good point. And then Dr. James Andrews says, are the ICE agents actually J6 pardoned by Trump? Let's look into that. That will be our last question of the evening.
Well, they're definitely.
I think we just need to tweak the question because there are tens of thousands of ICE agents, more than the January 6th that were pardoned. They might be absorbed within ICE.
Well, I think it's only January 6th. I think what he's probably asking, are they white supremacies, or they are that's probably more the question, is that they have been, because none of them are like licensed. None of them are really like wearing a badge. You can get off of Etsy the whole outfit if you wanted to go act as an ICE agent. No joke.
Just ridiculous.
No joke.
It's just so ridiculous. Let's see how we're doing on time. Let's do a 1-card pull and then just kind of have a little debate in terms of what comes up with the cards.
Okay. So J6 in ICE.
Yeah, J6 in ICE / white supremacy stuff. But basically, are they strongly present now in ICE and balaclava and all of this kind of stuff? 1-card pull, and then we have a debate about it, because of course for me here in Europe I'm 1 hour ahead than I usually am, so it's almost 2 a.m. for me.
Oh God, well, yes, I can't even remember the hours ahead I am, but there we go.
Yeah, she's tomorrow. She's from the future.
Well, actually, Lena and I are actually in pretty much in the same space, but it's only because I'm an hour later than usual. But still, let's see. All right, so after 3, 1, 2, 3. What's going on with ICE? Ooh.
Oh.
So, Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, judgment. The thing about the judgment card is essentially people waking up, which we've been talking about all day. And I think some of these profiles of these individual ICE agents, at the moment, they work on anonymity. It's all about the masks and the gear and the thing. I think there'll be a stripping back and people will actually see who some of these guys are. These are not just working class guys need a bit of money. I'll join ICE. So to answer the viewer's question, yeah. They're going because they can keep brown heads.
Sheila.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Apparently I'm a Gemini and I need 2 cards to it. because that's the only thing I can think of. But once I drew this one, which is the 10 of Wands, right? These guys are walking around with authority, with their wands, with their whatever they're. And then the second one is the conflict of ideas, the conflict of what we believe in, conflict of what we're trying to go forward with. So they have that Five of Swords, that aggression, that dispute and bullying and stress and stuff like that. Yeah, I do think that they are all. I do. We've been watching it, and then yeah, I do think they're supremacy and probably J6ers or whoever they can find to be mean.
Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Rear Window.
The Window. Now, for those who have never seen the movie The Window, it's about this kid that's looking out and he sees the neighbor killing someone and they don't believe him. But they finally find out, they go after the kid for seeing this, but he winds up being okay. But yeah, it's the same thing. These ones that are trying to hide their identity, eventually it's going to come out. Somebody's going to say it and see what's actually going on there.
Yes. Now, what's funny here, I've got the Empress here, which, I normally associate with Russia, but we're not talking about Russia this time. I think this is kind of talking more about the bounty, the potential of America. And this card is also associated with like wheat and, produce and stuff like that as well. And I'm taking it as the simple interpretation, which is in the sense of homegrown. Yeah, homegrown. And it's this idea of, I think this is part of the reason why these people have joined ICE. Do you know what I mean? In the sense of, I think they've got this kind of quite idealized, romanticized idea of America that doesn't quite fit. Yeah, because the thing is, the Empress can be quite over the top. She's like a Jupiter card. Yeah, sometimes Jupiter can be a bit overblown, but it's almost like, and whenever I see this card as well, it makes me think of that song, America the Beautiful, from sea to shining sea and all of this kind of stuff. So I think a lot of the ICE people feel like by doing this horrible stuff, they are somehow restoring America to this bountiful, but it's not a real image in their mind. It's a bit of a fantasy. It's kind of overblown. So I think this is part of their motivation, their logic for doing this, because they want to return America to maybe something it never was. But
exactly.
I think it's motivation. But it's not a realistic one, but homegrown. So yes.
And radicalized. It's been reinforced for all these years.
Yeah. Could we do a Shakespeare on ICE?
Do a Shakespeare on ICE?
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I would like to see what Shakespeare has to say about ICE.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lady G, you will have the honors because, of course, Sheila just called the last one. What is it on Don Jr.? So let's get what the Bard thinks about ICE, folks.
And now.
Oh, okay. Make sure that was the page Oh, actually, we've had this one come out before, this page, because it's a well-worn page. Let's go in one more time.
Okay.
Because it's we've seen this one, so there we go. All right.
Stop.
Was that Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I don't think we've had this one before. Okay.
The suspense is killing me.
I think we've had that a long time ago. So this is from Macbeth. Macbeth.
Oh,
It says, if thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee.
wow, that's pretty
Let me read it
heavy.
again. Yeah. So this is what the bard is saying about ice and the agents.
Yeah.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. Wow.
Oh,
So
you wouldn't want
you
that
see
coming
how
down
there's
on
that
your
thing
ass,
there.
would you?
Say again?
You wouldn't want that coming
Sorry,
after
what was-
you as a curse.
No. No.
Sounds like they're going to be
because
punished.
isn't it interesting?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you see here, you see the bit with the if thou speakest false, which is basically if you lie, which they are, because these people aren't criminals. This is what it's turned out to be. The vast majority of them are really not criminal, certainly not heavy criminals. But what I find interesting, particularly with the white supremacy thing, like we were saying, upon the next tree thou shalt thou hang alive. Obviously, you don't need me to explain the connotations of that with some of these people and their mindset. Till famine cling thee. So of course, famine, scarcity, running out of money, maybe running out of food, and maybe the ways a lot of these people will probably likely be from red states, which are going to be the most affected by Trump's tariffs.
Yes, and ICE too are not just the ones that are targeting the alleged gang members. We're talking about going into schools and churches and farms to take the people who grow the food.
Yeah.
And they'll be
Food,
left
yes,
hanging
the famine.
on the tree with famine.
Wow, yes, crops going unpicked.
Correct.
Wow. Wow. You
It's
see the
amazing
bard?
as imagery, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they
Very
really
complex.
if they really
Sorry.
wanted to remove criminals and take them back to their own countries, why didn't they just clean out our jails?
That's a big question, but I want to jump in on the first part of it.
Yeah.
Which is that the majority of people, those who are working without paperwork or partially documented and stuff, it's also at the border, it is not illegal to seek asylum.
Yeah.
It is not illegal. And we had this in Australia because we came down with an evil regime of offshore processing that I won't go into now, but we led the world in bad behaviour. And immigrants were perfectly entitled to arrive in leaky boats and beg for asylum.
Yeah.
And Australia said no and took them other places. So this is very close to my heart too. Right. So you've got to be very careful what you accept in times of stress or what's perceived as a threat to the country. People accept things they wouldn't otherwise, and then you're in this immoral space.
Fascinating.
And in terms
fascinating.
of
Well,
jails, oh, sorry, I'll stop there.
no, I was going to say
have
no.
one
If you
more
want to finish, but we have run over. But please finish your sentence, and then I'll close.
Sorry,
the
the
show.
sociologist has kicked in.
Yeah.
We like to believe that criminals go to jail. There's this punishment mentality. But if you look as a sociologist of why people do crimes, this is different from ICE and immigration. This is regular crimes. Something like 80% of the men in jail cannot read and write.
Yeah.
Literacy is what, and lack of
yeah.
literacy leads to a life of crime when compounded with poverty and other things.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the time has gone in a flash as always. Thank you to everyone for joining us here this evening. I hope you found those insights interesting. Certainly what the bard said there was a very condensed statement, but there was a lot in it, talking particularly
Wasn't there
about
a good idea,
ICE and how
Lady
it
G?
relates. Yeah, thank you for that. So, and thank you as well for everyone, your questions, those that have donated as well. Please, of course, be sure to like and subscribe and share. We much appreciate it. It really helps the channel. You'll see us back next week. I should be in the UK next week, and then there's some more adventures and travels and anyway, whatever. But such is life. So will be leaving it there for now. So thank you, ladies, so much for your contribution as always, and thank you guys for joining us. We'll leave it there, and we will see you all soon. So big love and bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.